lots of lip. The Ticket covers the spread this season. On Cowboys game day, it's
TC and Jake.
Sports Radio 1310, KTCK, Dallas Fort Worth.
It's our first episode of February, Jake.
How about that? How about that hot-ass February calendar layout?
Ooh, I've forgotten. Give me a second.
Would you buy a little calendar there, champion?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, the Stavi.
Forgot it for the first month, but...
Stavi.biz calendar.
Yeah, I've been meaning to hang up in our official podcast office here. I missed all of Jack... Oh, no, wait, that is... Yeah, Jack Offuary was last month.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to Get Head Brewery.
Okay, I like it.
He's in a construction motif in this one.
But he doesn't lay his calendar out the way that it would look like I'd like, where it's, you started on Monday, which I know is not the start of the week, but everybody thinks his Monday is the start of the week. But if you lay it out like that, and then the other cool thing we have, I think in March and April, all of the days are the same. So like all the Saturday, like it's a Saturday, I think a 5, 12, 19, 26. That just gets me rock hard.
5, 12, 19. Oh, okay.
And it's the same for both. Like you could lay the calendars over one another because they both start and end on the same day, and all the days are the same.
I don't know that I understand, but I think the big thing that's blocking me here is that I don't know that I want to understand.
Probably so. So we've got a lot that we could get to. I have, flaming filibuster opinions in me, TC. I'm ready to filibust that nut.
What on God's green earth could that possibly mean?
We've got hot coup news. You know about the coup? Maybe they'll get to call it Burma again. Because Burma's
Oh, I thought you meant to stop the steal.
No.
About the steal. Sure know about that.
Yeah, well, they were not able to stop the steal, thereby forcing me to transfer you $500.
I appreciate it. You did hold to your revised timeline.
Yeah, we've got that. We've got Dogecoin. I'm sure you're cleaning up over there as you're now.
No, it's not me. It's Mike Soroy. You know that.
I'm in.
Jesus, dude.
What?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know that it's going to be a viable currency.
No, I'm just looking to cash out like by the end of today and double my money.
Okay.
That's all I'm in for.
Yeah.
I don't think Bitcoin's going to be a viable currency anymore.
I heard you say that, and
I've talked to a number of people about this.
Okay,
who seem to believe that it's just, it's gold now.
I'm sure you can talk to more. I bet that our guest this afternoon. See, I want to address this at the outset, and again, so dumb to address the video people because they are so few as a percentage of the audience. But I am going to be wearing the same clothes in this video and the next one.
Yeah,
but that's okay because we're recording them on the same day.
Yes, it is. And I will be wearing a different shirt, but only because I forgot my last week of prescription deodorant.
How's that going?
Well, so you're supposed to do it 3 days in a row, and it did work. It stopped for about a week and a half, and then it says, the second it appears again, you fucking whack them. Do another night, and then that'll last, and eventually you just like taper off of it.
Okay.
So I did it's kind of like antibiotics, right? Like where you do the first round and then they're always like, just keep taking them even after you're better. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off. And no one does. It's kind of like that where I just stopped. So now I'm back to sweating. But that's not the focus today. Neither is the fact that I found out that my wife is watching Gossip Girl.
Okay.
Like from the beginning, which I've never seen a second of Gossip Girl.
Same.
There are a number of things. This is in that category of
I think
things
it's set in New York City.
Yeah. It's very avant-garde in that way. It's one of those deals where I feel like a lot of people, maybe we missed it a little bit.
Gossip Girl?
Generationally. And I feel like I see like even dudes who are maybe 30 because it was on regular TV. It was like in the era of like
CW, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like it seems like it was like their Dawson's Creek, which I also didn't watch, but everyone around me did.
You probably absorbed an episode or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I found out via my wife that one of the lead actresses in Gossip Girl, her name is Lee Meester.
I am aware that she has a sex tape.
Does she?
Yes.
That's not the part my wife shared with me.
Okay.
She's married to the guy from the OC.
Okay.
Adam Brody.
Uh-huh.
And
that rocks.
She was born in a Fort Worth prison.
Wow.
Or at least in a halfway house that they let her mother escape to for 2 months while she birthed and nursed, and then her mom went right back.
Wow.
Her dad
What
was
she in for?
a real estate broker, and her mom was a writer, and they were both in for a big old drug ring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those sound
Smuggling dope.
Sound
from
like
Jamaica.
reasonable jobs.
I know. That's the best sort of smuggling story.
That's terrifying.
But she made good.
I mean, you know,
Frazier.
a certain kind of person would find that terrifying. I want to be clear, I'm not involved in a drug smuggling ring. Just every time you go to a drug dealer's house, you're like, am I going to be wrapped up in a, you know, like, is this the moment they're going to choose to barge in? And then it's like, well, he's part of the ring too.
Oh, yeah.
Just if you participate in the gray market economy at all. I don't know. I thought that eventually the fear would go away. And, you know, like, I can do a lot of stuff in my head of, like, you know, I haven't been pulled over since I was, I don't know, 21. So, like, it's unlikely tapper. I got pulled over last year, but it wasn't, what?
What about the light?
What? I don't even remember.
The license plate light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I was like 23 or 24.
Okay, yeah, I guess I forget.
It was a long time ago. We were in the Miller house.
Yeah.
But, you know, I what I'm saying is I haven't had my car searched since I was 21. I have been pulled over an intermittent number of times since I was 21. But at no point are they like, sir, can we see what's in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, can you imagine a circumstance? Like, do you think anyone ever in the rest of your life is going to be like, sir, can we see what's in the vehicle?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be. I'll never clear that one. And I've
Like,
told this.
intellectually, I think I won't. But, like, every time, like, there's drugs in the car, I'm like, well, they probably are. I mean, you should just prepare for the jail now.
Yeah.
Start working out a little bit.
I've mentioned this on the air
push-ups.
recently a couple times. That's how I feel about the airport.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything in my bag at the airport, but I'm worried every time. Like, I don't know what's like. I have no idea. But
what
yeah,
if there's some new class of illegal things I haven't even heard of yet?
I guess it's been a while for me. I think it's happened a couple different times. Once, the one that sticks out the most, and another time I was asked to get out of the car. They didn't even really search it though. It was like he got me out of the car for no other reason than to just dick with me. Yeah. But and I've told this story a number of times. We were coming back.
Was that the South Lake one?
That no, that guy just kept me there for like 45 minutes because I was not cooperating.
Because you wouldn't tell me where you were going.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I was in the Barnes and Noble parking lot at South Lake Town Square.
Kind of not his business anyway.
Yeah, you would think. But when we were coming home from camping, and I know I've told you this, but we were coming home. So at that age, when you're coming home, you don't have anything left.
Yeah,
it's like probably 23. It's like I feel pretty safe about this. And he saw all the camping shit. Pulled us out of the car, like on 35, made both Wade and I sit down. Probably took close to an hour, went through everything. And he's like, you boys smoke marijuana? And Wade goes, you mean ever? I was like, not fucking now, bro. It's not the time.
It didn't result in an arrest, and it's a good line.
Nope, it didn't. No, we're not here to talk about any of those things. We're here for me to do...
Ever?
Also, the same friend. Well, I'll probably leave that part out.
Yeah, thank you.
That out there. Well, you don't even know which one I was going to pick, though. It could have been any
I know
number
that
of
there's
things.
one that you reference often that he's asked you to leave behind. So,
does it involve a jumpsuit or no?
No.
Okay. See that the other one, I wasn't even. I was going to play by the rules, but no, we're not here to talk about any of that. We're here to sit down and do like a behind the music. What was the deal? What was the podcast that the guy did on Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy? Dissect. We're here to do a dissect on Western Warehouse.
Oh.
Fucking the hardest I've laughed in so long. Dude.
You liked it?
I liked it especially just because in my mind I was creating the conversations between two of my friends that led to it, and just how drug-addled they were throughout the time that they were.
Nah, totally sober. Just on Saturday, we were driving to Megan's sister's house to see how her sister's baby was doing, things of this nature. And I was listening to a playlist I made that featured Everlong, the Foo Fighters song. And I don't remember how I got to the Western Warehouse theme, the jingle. It's been in my head for a little while. I don't recall why it's there. And I was just like, what if I just like kind of did that? And really, I envisioned it fitting much worse than it fit. I would say it fit all right.
It did.
You know, you had to do some smushing and pushing, you know, like moving things around.
But not on the hook.
Yeah, which is what matters, right?
Right.
And then, yeah, I knew Josh had done a Foo Fighters cover band for like a one-off gig a couple years ago. And like, you know, of course, Josh knows how to play Everlong well. Like,
yeah.
That's just, you know, by the time he had graduated middle school, that was a core competency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just was like, hey, man, can I come over? Will you play Everlong? And, yeah, we knocked it out. I'd probably say it took maybe a half an hour to, like, get the timing and, you know, like, let's find one we like. Kind of thing,
but like any great performer, the take that the people saw still felt like the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
juice was still there.
It wasn't a lot of takes, especially like it wasn't a lot of takes. Like just, I mean, there's probably like 3 or 4 times that we ran through it clean without like. So what does he say here? Like, you know, it's so much easier, you know this, to do these things whenever you're singing with the other person. Once there's like no words at all.
For sure.
In the situation, it's like, man, I've done this a million times, but like, where does this fit? I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I was going through some audio the other day that I have saved up. I've mentioned this before, like recording grandparents, parents, whatever, to send to my cousin who could not be at my grandfather's funeral the other day. So I had all my voice memos there, and I was like, while I'm here, I'll just fucking get to work on clearing some of this stuff out. But I didn't have headphones on. And I was like, what is this? It's like a 15-minute cut. And Kristen walked in, and I was listening to the Christmas song that I did, the Waiting on a Ticket Host to Die. And it's me driving to the station. Mm-hmm. I think for a Muser's shift, maybe it couldn't have been that morning. I had to have been done before that. Maybe there was one a week before. I don't know. But just it is really interesting to listen to yourself for like 15 minutes trying to figure something out. And you're like, no, that's not. And then I can actually like hear myself being like,
got it.
Got it.
That clicks.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating because I've watched it 100 times. I don't know if that's going to make you any money. I've been singing it in my head.
It certainly doesn't, but it's always, you know, it's the push-pull. If hypothetically, things on YouTube I might make money from one day. Twitter, there's a 0% chance, but if I put it on YouTube, it gets like 30 views. And I'm sure that the Twitter views thing is super inflated. Like if someone's scrolling and like just scrolls past it and it plays for 2 seconds, they're like, another view.
What kind of psychopaths have autoplay on?
I think that my Twitter, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I think it plays quietly.
Yeah, I got out of autoplay whenever that reporter in Virginia got shot on live television. Oh. And the dude who posted it was just like, hey,
that's when I turned on
NSFW. Well, I want to be able to control the frame by frame. No, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You don't put a murder on the timeline without a
trigger warning.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So anyways, the filibuster. No, I want to hear about this Oprah deal.
Yeah, so we got several pieces of audio. Just one from this Oprah thing, but I think is that it's probably the focus for today. Oh, before we get into audio, I do have one thing I wanted to tell you about.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the 101 California street shooting?
No.
I had not either. It was a man who, in retrospect, like, you know, it is very Nashville bomber, like just guy who's lost his grip with reality.
Lizards.
Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't get into a lot of specifics, but it's very much like lawyers are killing the world. Like, like they're, like, yeah, I know. I hear you, but
no, I don't.
Just
in that group.
A sentence where, like, if you could imagine another more deranged person putting the Jewish people there, like he was making a lot of sentences like that, but
sure.
putting lawyer.
Like a elected member of Congress would, except with lawyer.
Yeah. So I don't believe he had any, like, specific beef with this law firm, but just went to a building in San Francisco where there was a law firm, like rode the elevator up, steps out, and just starts shooting. And I believe he killed 9 people. And I believe that total includes himself. And that
Shouldn't get to
9-person
count.
shooting, which I don't know would like definitely make the news today, right?
Nah, yeah, it would.
It would, but you know what I'm saying. Like it would not be the most notable shooting of that year.
No, of course not. No. Stephen Paddock is your final boss.
Yeah. Like, just, I'm not like bragging about how cool our shootings are now.
I hope not.
But I'm just observing that in today's media environment, like things have changed quite a bit. This one happened in the early 90s, and I found out about it because if you go to the Wikipedia, and tell me if you think this makes me cool. I found myself on the Wikipedia of the 94 crime bill. This was the inspiration, the stated inspiration, like we got to do something about this for the
Super
94
Predators?
crime bill. Yes. Like that they were like, well, we've got this thing that everyone is terrorized by, the 101 California street shooting, and we must act. It was what I was talking about before with the people storming the Capitol. Like, whenever you have responses to these things, you're lucky if they somewhat tangentially have a relationship with the original thing. Usually it's just lawmakers have a list of things that they've been thinking they'd like to get through, but they're controlled by this shit the same way as we are, or as anyone is, like
Emotionally.
Well, emotionally and just like the attention stuff, like
Okay. Well,
this podcast does not like select the thing that is like platonically most interesting to talk about each week. We talk about what happened recently, like that's how most people work. They legislate about what's happened recently. So they were not planning to dust off all these things about like, let's put, crack dealers in jail at much higher rates than cocaine dealers. But, we did have this shooting, so why the fuck not? I mean, it's such a large, sweeping bill, and the fact that it was done because of I don't know. Those 9 people's lives were very important to me. I think it matters, but, it would not.
But
it's difficult to imagine it spurring legislation today, is my point.
Yeah, because they were not in kindergarten.
Yeah, dude.
At school.
Yeah, like compare the size of bills there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is, I said emotion there, and like maybe that's a more optimistic than cynical view of just trying to force a bunch of stuff in that you've wanted to get done for a while. But even though a lot of them are bad people, they are still people who are prone to, the whims of emotion. Speaking of, legislators.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something of like, oh, they're freaked out about it too, and they feel like they have to overreach. But what ends up happening, like everything, is that the main impact on it, obviously you have the ones that are practical and like the ones you mentioned when it comes to the justice, the judicial system. But then also it just freaks everybody the fuck out. Like if you need a crime bill, then you're to assume that there's nothing but crime everywhere. If you need the Patriot Act, then you are to assume that there will be a terrorist act every few months for the rest of your life, and that's how people respond.
Yeah,
which maybe that's also part of the intent. I don't know. Anyways,
well, so this was definitely on the same night as reading about the 101 California street shooting. I was just kind of going through major crime incidents of the early 1990s. And
are you watching Night Stalker?
No. Is it good?
It's 80s. I'm only through like 1.5. I mean, it's, me, I'm a pussy. It's fucking terrifying.
Okay.
But table talk for a later day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I only barely Googled this and then it was just like, I need to read more on this. It is really shocking how much it feels like a movie where in the middle of the spree, it's on the news. And I said to Kristen, I was like, hey, this is going to be pretty fucking weird. It's freaky. It's a lot of rape. It's indiscriminate. It's kids. It's adults. It's murders. It's sneaking into people's houses, which that was like my main fear as a child. The nighttime home invader.
I'm sure I've never found corroboration for this. So I think that it's probably just urban legend. I know it's an urban legend I passed on this podcast before, but my college roommate telling me that there was a serial killer in St. Louis that would just test if the door was open, and
Then
he
come
killed like 10 people. But he said hundreds, possibly thousands, just stood over him and watched him sleep.
That was my biggest fear as a kid.
Yeah, dude.
I was pretty sure like half the nights, if I woke up in the middle of the night, there would be somebody there.
Yeah.
And if I couldn't see them, they hid before I opened my eyes. So it's chilling in that regard. And I don't know why she's got more stones on this stuff than I do. But I was like, hey, I think one thing when you watch a documentary like this, you have to be aware of is this doesn't happen anymore. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I just don't really feel like serial killers can pop like they used to, just based on the sheer fact of information gathering and sharing between departmental agencies. Like, these dudes are fucking doing the most literal gumshoe detective work to try to put this or that together. They're using lineups, which I know, as we know, they still do use some. But like with cell phone tracking data, even if you ditch your phone, with cameras everywhere, with the way people pay, it would be much harder to pull off what this dude pulled off today. And I looked it up.
It would definitely be harder. You always wonder, like, I bet that, interagency cooperation still leaves somewhat to be desired.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But before it was non-existent. That's like going back to Mindhunter. But the fact that the news is covering it in real time, like after 3 murders, and there's like 10 more. And so they're literally leading the news, at night with like, he's still out there. There's a man on the loose. He is killing all over the greater Los Angeles area. He is now spread out from the last thing I can remember happening like that in my lifetime was the DC sniper.
Yeah.
I really don't think we've had one since then. And I don't know that it's really all that like you'll hear about somebody now.
Have you heard those You're Wrong Abouts?
No.
They did like 4 parts on it. It's very good.
Okay. That one would interest me. It's just like now you like I saw a story a couple of months ago.
Do you know they killed outside of DC?
Oh yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
They like killed a couple people in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, they were on the run.
I mean, that was peak. That was, it was committed in a year where I was not allowed outside a several acre parcel of land at any point in that entire year.
Well,
so
that's why it was so scary, is because we all learned like they could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we know that they're outside of the East Coast now. So anyways, I was just trying to tell her, like, as you watch them, like, imagine leading the news, like the 10 o'clock news with news.
He strikes again.
Yes, dude. And then him doing it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more times before being caught. And they're interviewing
wild.
people on the street that are like, I won't even unlock the door for my son whenever he comes home at night. He's got to figure out another, like, I'm not opening this door for anybody. Like, they're doing B-roll in the middle of a fucking neighborhood in the daytime. Like, I want to look into this, but I just don't think it's possible to cook like that anymore.
I mean,
he had like a 1.5 year run.
I can't recall. I mean, there's been times where the morning news will kind of be like, there's been 4 rapes in Deep Ellum. Are they connected? And and we don't have anyone yet, and like we're still wondering, but it just doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Here's the first thing. I mean, I think that you're a little bit of an exception to this, but like, who watches the nightly news?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but it's.
I mean, I guess I'd see some tweets about it.
You would
but
definitely see.
It just didn't seem like that. I mean, like, I was following it some, but. And there was several shootings in the southern part of Dallas in the last year that I believe, I think it was a city council person was attempting to advance the narrative that this is a serial killer. Like, it's someone who's, producing these random shootings, and I don't know. I
mean, I guess the last one, even more recent, that's not a serial killer, would be Dorner. Like,
yeah,
he did have a string, but it was like 10 days long or something.
As we were following it.
Yeah.
And
people, like, because the thing now is people would just be memeing it. Like, they'd be like, Bay Area killer be like. They would have.
I mean, I can't imagine someone making a joke about Chris Dorner. That's just serious stuff.
No sirree. Never. Back to
Oprah. So I'm running through all your big early 90s crime things, and man, there was something. Well, one thing. Okay, so I think how this somewhat starts is our last video clip, the Elizabeth Smart on The Masked Dancer.
Okay.
Because I was reading about her kidnapping and saw that she was on Oprah, Elizabeth was, but in addition to that, Wanda Barzil's children did a full episode where like the children are sitting like in a semicircle around Oprah, just like relaying incidents of Wanda Barzil, like, you know, what it was like to have her as a mother.
Who is she again? She cut some arms off?
She's the one that was the accomplice of Brian David Mitchell in kidnapping Elizabeth Smart.
Okay. All right. There you go. I knew that Damon Gordon's voice for some reason.
Yes. He remembers the name most certainly. Yeah. He
that
brings
and
it up.
Golan Sapel.
Yeah. So Wanda Barzil, like one of the stories that came out in the Oprah thing was one of her daughters was like, yeah, I had a pet rabbit, and one night, like, we fucking ate dinner, and the next morning the rabbit wasn't there, and I was like, where's the rabbit? And she was like, you ate her last night. So fucked up. So
did they have they had a dad at this point, and then Wanda left the dad for the ultimate kidnapper?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
That's
must
weird.
have somewhere, yeah. But so really wanted to watch that episode, was not able to. Even our top internet sleuths couldn't track down the footage. Appreciate the attempt. It's certainly like it blows my fucking mind how opaque these Oprah archives are.
Yeah, I mean, you could apply this to a number of different things. I've said this for years. There's got to be
Why isn't
a premium
there every
membership
Oprah?
for, you know, and I've said this about SNL, and I know people have the SNL files ripped and have sent them. It's just, I would rather, and I think maybe Peacock eventually will.
But I'm telling you,
like
this,
Oprah,
there's plenty of Oprah episodes. This one I'm describing being one of them. That like just you can't. It's not like, boy, this is inconvenient. It's like, you know, there is no existence.
don't you think there's a big enough group of people that would pay $100 a year, fans, that would make it worth
I'm the
server
son of
space?
one of them.
Yeah, there you go.
And I would certainly borrow that login from time to time.
So you're hitting us with the Oprah video you settled for.
Yeah, so I'm looking around for Oprah clips, and I'm like, well, it's disappointing it's not Barzee, but a white woman receives backlash for defending the Rodney King verdict. I'd like to hear more about that.
Might have stumbled upon a little upgrade.
So I guess this will probably become clear in the clip, but I think this is... So Rodney King happens, you know, the police beat the shit out of him because he was speeding. He was speeding a lot, you know, if you'd like to make the case to the police. And I believe, as will come, like, you know,
I wouldn't, by the way.
I wouldn't either. No, I'm just saying, like, you know, it's a measure of how ridiculous the entire thing is. That if you're attempting to make the best case for them, he was speeding a lot. I'd say it's not a good case. But yeah, one of the issues at trial, I remember this, and I think that I even opined on it whenever I learned it on this podcast. And of all the pitches I would like to have back, I think that's one of the top ones where I was like, well, I didn't know this. It's actually kind of, if you think about it, my current position is that the Rodney King verdict was wrongly decided, which was my position the entire time. It's just, you know, levels of, well, if you think about the other side, at this point, I'm on a, you know, I do not think that they have anything.
Well, I'm glad I don't remember that.
Yeah, but
that's probably a long time ago.
It's just the news clip was like was edited. Like it's not like they showed you all of what that guy had, and like. I would not say that the full video is sympathetic. You know, like it's not like now the cops did great, but the news was attempting to specifically find the parts that were most likely to generate controversy rather than attempting to communicate the full story. And like the full story makes the cops look terrible, you know? But that was a was a central like fact of the trial. Like, you know, that was what the defense hinged on to some extent.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah. Well,
actually, I can.
Do you remember the whole business of moving the venue?
Yeah.
And you remember where it was moved to?
It was moved to where OJ's trial was, right?
No. This always like factored into
opposite.
the OJ thing.
Okay, Simi Valley?
It was Simi Valley.
There you go.
Yeah. Jake is a big fan of the real bros of Simi Valley. I don't know if we've had a chance to talk about
we
on the
have.
podcast yet.
We have.
Okay.
I got Dan watching it.
Okay, cool.
I think it's better than anything on scripted television.
I think it might be.
Yeah, but it makes sense because
good.
I think it is a pretty...
It's fairly white.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
opposite OJ.
Rodney King, the beating occurs. They have the
I guess
trial
it's okay.
of the officers who participated. It was the 4, like there's 20 officers.
Hold on real quick here.
around.
I want to be clear. You just said a lot of white people and I said opposite OJ. I did not mean that OJ is black. That came off very poorly. In fact, it was the same move as the OJ trial, right? Which is they tried to get OJ into
they tried to change
as many black
the
jurors
venue.
as possible, right?
Yeah.
I was confused the venue changes in the OJ one because it felt like it was the whole time things were moving around. Maybe it was only once, but
I thought
that's
they
what I meant by
denied
opposite
it.
from
I
OJ.
thought that like they just had to do it in because I mean it was just the LA.
I guess I'm missing. You're the one who listened to 4 hours of podcasts about it. You should be able to tell me this. Or did you not do the OJ one?
I haven't dove
Okay.
into the OJ
I'll ask my
wrongabouts
wife.
yet. There's a lot of them.
I thought I remember that they were able to get as many black jurors.
They were able to get a large number of
Maybe it wasn't.
African American jurors, but they were not
Okay, sorry.
able to move the. I mean, I think it was the other side that wanted it out of.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just brought up the idea of white people, and I said opposite OJ. That did not play well. Okay.
So this the trial occurs, and that is a predictable enough event. So Oprah says when this verdict drops, I got to be there. I'm doing the show from LA that week.
Love it.
And so she's just standing in the audience of Los Angeles residents and just, feeling out where the community is, passing the mic around. Here's how that goes.
This gentleman here just something. Mike Royko does a column in the Chicago paper, and Mike Royko said the same thing, I think the day after the writing, that if the jurors had seen, I'm paraphrasing, of course, the jurors had seen Rodney King as their brother or their father, the verdict perhaps would have been different. And you were saying what? The same thing?
I was saying the same thing. Had it been his brother or father that got beat like that,
Addressing the gentleman over there.
he would have said something different. He would have said the jurors were wrong for giving that verdict because the police did it. It was on the video. So what else do you need to prove it?
I think that's a very good point. Yes, ma'am. You wanted to say what?
I just want to say I'm for the verdict. I'm not.
Okay.
This is where it goes off the rails.
Yeah, we're clearly heating up here.
But I just want to observe that Oprah, like the top of, this is TV perfection, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's
absolutely
in her bag right now.
Entertainer's Sense had her just like repeat a Mike Royko headline and then go to the guy and be like, but that's what you were saying. And then he's basically like, you already said my entire point. So yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then perhaps I had to put a bow on it. And I'm like, that's a very interesting point. It's like, not that interesting. It's like very basic and we just said it.
Yeah,
now,
I'm kind of wondering why she has a show.
Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to staff my audience with a disproportionate to the population percentage of minorities, which in this case makes sense because it's an issue affecting misjudgment being handed out at to the fate of a minority victim. But I'm going to dot one old white lady right in the middle of the crowd, and then I'm going to go to her after Mike Royko's point.
Watch it play out. This woman's very young. But yeah, here, we'll...
Everyone
condoning what the officers did. I think they got a little bit out of hand, of course. But listen. Okay, I'm telling you, we did not see the first 60 seconds of that video. We did not. No. Did you? No, listen. The media.
Quiet,
Listen to me.
Everybody?
The media is
You got to back it up for me. She's about to get walked.
There's members of the audience that at this point have risen to their feet
Yeah.
and are shaking their head in a fashion that I would feel unsafe about.
Well, I mean, yeah,
60 seconds of that video. We did not. No. Did you go? No, listen. The media.
Quiet,
Listen
everybody,
to me.
Everybody.
The
Hands on
media
hips.
is our number one influencing agent. And that's all we saw was what the media decided to put up on that screen.
So in case you thought Turning Point USA was a
Exactly.
novel
But what did
program,
they show? They
Yeah.
just
this has
showed
been going
that
on for a bit.
21 seconds, and that was it. What else did we see? Were you guys at the trial? Did you see the evidence? That prosecuting attorney, that defense attorney got to choose.
What do you mean? That did not give them the cause to beat him. They would have killed him.
I'm not
if they had
condoning their
not-
behavior.
They
I'm
would've killed that
condoning
young man.
the
This has
verdict.
been
Oh,
going
Oprah.
on
She's like,
The
I got the
verdict
video.
was
They showed it
right.
on the video. That,
Ladies and
The
gentlemen.
defense
They're
attorney
trying
and
to
the
kill him.
prosecuting
Ladies and
attorney
gentlemen.
had a choice of what
do you
jury
mean?
they decided to put up there.
To cause him to get beat like that before you even seen it on the video. What did he do to justify
And they're saying
the
he is
beating
not a
like he
dangerous
got?
man who drives
Nothing.
80 miles per hour in a residential district.
Okay, so
So she's going
yeah,
with,
right. So-
but he was driving very fast.
yeah, driving fast a lot. So basically, what happened there was a pointed question, which is what I think we were all thinking the whole time: is okay. Well, what could have happened in the 60 seconds preceding the part that you saw? You didn't see that part. All right. Well, what could have happened then that could have necessitated the use of force that we saw? He was speeding. Like she flat out was asked and said, I mean, he was going 80.
I think it was more than that.
Of course it was,
I
but she
don't want to
couldn't-
be. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and even if he was confrontational and physical in the preceding 60 seconds, which that's how I recall it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, of course. But you have to be like soulless to say that somebody doing that results in that, and that's fair judgment. But
I mean, to go back to the basic point made by the man repeating Mike Royko, like, if that were her brother, she would not care that he had been speeding.
doesn't have to be
She'd
your
like-
brother. He just has to be white.
Yeah.
That's his. But
Which
dude,
is,
Oprah, dude. This is
just
peak.
I love this vibe of just like she's got a room full of people. They all feel like, despite the fact that she's the biggest media figure ever, and it's her show and it's TV, they are.
Give me the mic. Just grabbing it out of her hand.
It has the feel of an elementary school classroom where it's like, a charge is running through the room.
Yeah.
And like, no one's in control right now, dude.
Yeah. This is great. I mean, people should remember Oprah like this. Like, this is great programming. Not sure it does much for healing.
Yeah.
Because, what's his name? Donahue used to walk around the crowd with a mic.
Yeah.
And that was like, but in my memory, it never really routinely or ever got like that contentious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is typical of Oprah. Although I've watched other clips, they will get some disagreements going.
Yeah.
The wildest one was clearly an audience plant. The same night I found this, I was watching random Oprah clips. Like, someone will just put up 12th of January 1997 or something, and so the opening thing is she's like, stepmoms who asked for the kids to call them mom. How do you feel about it? Yeah, they go to a lady who, like, in retrospect, obviously was, like I said, a plant. And Oprah's like, has it ever happened to you? And she's like, sometimes I'll call and I'll hear her in the background telling them to call her mom, but she tells them to call me Mary Ann.
That does not happen.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Yeah, so Oprah, amazing stuff. But yeah, here.
If I deserved it, yes, but
Okay.
nobody deserves that.
So Oprah's across the room interviewing the other person. Like, this, we've got Oprah has a mic, and then there is a mic just set up for the audience where people have set up in a line. So this
Right.
lady was just next in line. So Oprah's across the room with her mic. That's how she was able to hand it over to the one woman who disagreed strongly. But now we have another white, an elderly white,
Yeah.
who is just near this mic. And so Oprah's on the other side of the room, but this lady's like, I realize Oprah's name is on the show and everything, but seriously, fuck that. I got some shit to say.
Also, this older white is dressed like Michael Jackson. She has a black leather jacket on.
A large necklace of some kind.
Rope necklace, yeah.
And so, she's just she has lived too goddamn long to hear this bitch talking this way.
What were you saying? What were you saying?
I was beat up by 4 police officers. Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
I apologize for my young lady. It's her youth.
Oh, fuck yeah. Bulldog is on the scene.
She's just letting them know we're not all like this.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And why do you say you apologize? It's her youth.
Hold
on. Why do you
youth?
Why?
Another pro move right there.
Yeah.
Like that lady was clearly,
I know you got
I'm going to
more.
say my piece.
I don't want to move from this.
I just want to go sit down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be concise, quick. I don't know how long I have left on this earth. Here's what I got. And then she's just sauntering back to her seat. Oprah, oh no.
I see a moment that I like. Let's pause on this for a little bit.
Can of worms.
Yeah.
You say you apologize.
She isn't old enough to know what has been going on for a long time.
Doesn't get racism.
Yeah, right.
I think she's right. Yeah.
Wait a minute. She just said she apologizes for you because you don't understand.
I am graduating from college this very 30th of May.
So I think I understand.
I'm an educated woman. I am educated.
Sweetheart,
I am educated, but you've never been beat. I've been beat.
I am 70.
I know what they go through.
I am 78 years old, dear. I am educated.
I
And
understand.
if you don't have the compassion in your heart,
I do.
Now, no.
Yes, I do.
You do not realize or you do not see that this man was kicked. I don't care what he did. He was kicked
I understand.
69
That's all
times.
I saw.
Straight grandma
That's
on her.
all I saw.
I think she's got the moral high ground.
This is a beautiful
But
moment,
you
and I'm
didn't
not even
kick,
being
that's
sarcastic.
all.
Yeah.
I did not see every aspect. Why did they kick him?
She's
Why?
not really
Why?
letting the beauty of the
Why
moment
did
into
they
her
do
heart,
it?
You
though.
don't kick a dog.
She's defensive.
No, you don't.
Then why would you kick a human being?
That's right.
Condoning them doing that. I'm going by
How
the
can the
verdict.
verdict be right?
Why did they kick and brutally beat that white man? Why?
Excuse me. A man got sent to jail for beating
Talking
up a
about
Cocker
Reginald Dennis.
Spaniel. Mind you that?
Honey,
Ladies and gentlemen, we made a vow to each other that we would be heard in this room.
Respect the vow of
We
the
made a
O.
vow that we would be heard in
Respect
this
the
room.
O vow.
Yeah, dude.
Come
So
on.
That's what Oprah put up. She didn't put up the whole show. That was.
I would watch that tonight if I could find the whole show.
Yeah.
I'm not playing.
They've got other clips. I mean, I think it's probably not the whole show, but they put up a lot of
Wow.
it. And I mean, it was a week of shows from LA
That's awesome.
just talking about Rodney King.
We might need to dive back in there. Feels
yeah.
like a fertile ground.
The main thing I was watching or thinking watching this, it's a gritty Karen origin story. Like this is in a movie where the Karen's Joker. This is the opening. You just see the woman trying to make her dumbass point, and everyone shouting over her, and she's like, "I will not be shouted over again. I will talk to their manager."
Yeah. Boy, gritty Karen. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that she would have some sense talked into her there, but that was at least that lady got her.
She was there to be defensive.
Yeah.
Like it is that Charlie Kirk, like, I'm only happy when everyone's yelling at me about how big of a piece of shit I am, Gene.
But I'm graduating college Thursday.
You say I'm not educated, or she's saying like you're not experienced. She's like, I'm not experienced. I'm almost done with college.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest lies out there. Hey, did you hear the Proud Boys guys and Narc?
I did hear that. I liked that.
That's a delicious story.
Yeah.
So the guy who's like off the government, F the feds, 3%er, has just been a CI for 10 years.
Just over and over and over. Like, appears to be quite an asset for them.
Like, you see, yeah, he's very good at one thing, and it's working with the governments to get private citizens in trouble.
Yeah, no, last night I finished the big popular Northern Ireland book everyone's been talking about. I can tell you what they do to touts, Jake.
They call them touts, huh?
They call them touts. Yeah.
For what reason?
I don't know.
They tout the government info, or...
I mean, I always hear it is referred to people who sell sports picks. That's
those are called touts.
yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I'm not in the gambling world.
Like what's the one whose last name is Gold? Ed Gold, Dave Gold.
No, I know. I think we might have done ads for this before.
Because the Gold Sheet is his big thing. Peter Gold. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
either.
friends with Norm.
There's no way that's his real last name either. Let's see what order we want to go in here.
Yeah, what you got a cornucopia for us?
Yeah, let's try Ted Cruz.
Let's go Ted Cruz.
These are things I watched 10 seconds of and then said I'm going to save this for later. Apparently Ted Cruz has a talk show.
Hell yeah.
Called Verdict. Because he's a legal guy, you may remember.
Yeah,
So I think
one of the things that left loves to virtue signal. They love to show how virtuous they are by being willing to give away your job. Never their job. Never a penny out of their pocket, never anything out of their life, but your job. They are so virtuous, they will obliterate your life. Look, if you actually respect people, you say you ought to be able to choose what you want to do with your life. Listen, I'm not a steel worker. If you put me in a steel foundry, I wouldn't think what the hell to do. I'd probably burn my fingers off.
I know it's true. You look at butts.
Being a lawyer was the right call for me. That was my skill set. But I'm not going to presume to tell you that what you chose to do is somehow illegitimate and should be eliminated.
The wrong choice.
Don't play logic
and a
games
third
with him.
point, you talked about inevitable. And I have to say it brought to mind Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is why you're here.
Carrie doesn't quite have the massive Thanos hands and fingers, but you could see the inevitable in the finger snapping. And it actually, what is interesting, in Endgame is curious. Have you noticed in how many movies how often rabid environmentalists are the bad guys?
Like
whether it's Thanos or go to Watchmen. Where the view of the left is people are a disease. They buy into the Malthusian line that there are too many people in the world, that people are bad, and everything would be better if we had fewer people. I mean, Thanos wanted to eliminate 50% of the life forms in the universe with one finger.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my questions. Here's where I was a little bit confused.
Okay.
So I have not seen that movie, but I gather that that the 50% thing was not just people. It was like everything. Like plants and...
They didn't really show plants disintegrating. It was just, Spider-Man.
And I was under the impression that it was not necessarily, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have other questions. I was under the impression that it was less about a like population control eugenics thing as much as it was just like, I want to do this.
No, it was very explicitly a resource consumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my second question is...
He was, shouts out to Ted for getting it right. I mean, with that Princeton education, you would hope that he could pull this up. But it's a Thomas Robert Malthus thing.
So my second question is, aren't I to believe that... I mean, this is like the biggest movie in the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
So I was under the impression that Hollywood was seeding ideas that were antithetical to conservative ideas and that were pushing a agenda.
That's a fine point. Yeah. If we hate their agenda, then if they're constantly making environmentalists the villains, as he's saying,
it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, Hollywood has a leftist agenda, and part of their agenda is to make leftists.
It's just so obvious that environmentalists are evil.
They're auteurs. They have to be true to their craft.
It happens that way because movie after movie, the main point is environmentalists are evil.
Yeah, no, I remember that blockbuster about the Greenpeace Hummer bombings. I was very confused there.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of very good allegories for what's going on in the environment, and very very few of them pit the
21st Century Fox. Guys. Yeah. And then my other question is, am I to believe that Ted Cruz watches The Watchmen? I didn't, so he must have, if he's able to at least have...
I'll bet that he does. He just seems like interested. He's at least aware that he doesn't want to get fucking wiped out on like what the kids are saying.
Corey Chase.
Yeah. Well, he tries to, like, you know, capitalize on moments, right? Like, he's someone where if like
Jimmy
a big
Kimmel.
meme is going around,
Yeah.
he'll, like, you know, try and throw his dumbass Ted Cruz spin on it. So I think that he sees some political efficacy in, like, being aware of where the culture is at any given moment. So I bet that he does watch shows if they're sufficiently popular.
Okay, so to sort of speak out of both sides of my mouth here, I mean, I do think that largely most culture that we see, I don't even know if the word is most, but a lot of it, maybe more series is why I'm focusing on The Watchmen rather than movies, because movies certainly do a content analysis on action movies in the 90s, and you'll find they're pretty much all indiscriminately Muslim or nondescript version of Muslim.
Yeah.
Rather, there's no nation tied to them. It's just they're, you know, these are the bad guys.
Not Arlington Road, though.
Priming the pump. That's Irish.
No, that was the one piece of culture that actually, like, really absorbed that Timothy McVeigh was an American.
Okay.
You ever see that movie?
No.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Okay.
Enjoy that this weekend.
I will.
Just a standard taut thriller.
Okay. So I do somewhat agree with the idea, and I don't think it's necessarily a left thing as much as it is that I think throughout time, history, you probably go back eons, a lot of your culture is being made to challenge authority, right? So it's not necessarily a progressive or a left thing as much as it is like, so in the reason I'm getting to The Watchmen is if I'm to believe that Ted Cruz watches The Watchmen,
who watches The Watchmen? The answer is Ted Cruz.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, not me, but Ted Cruz. Am I to believe that he in any way internalized that Tulsa situation?
You know, he seems to be picking and choosing a bit, Jake.
Because to me, the reason that scene was popularized in that show was very clearly to try to crystallize the moment of the couple years before it where people were starting to talk about it a little bit. And then I remember seeing the Google search trends the next morning, and it was like, you know, 17,000 times higher.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that
when they put it in there, they are talking to people like Ted Cruz.
Yeah, but like that is certainly their intent. But I would, you know, like I think this is indicative of how we get the you know, differences that we have in the country and et cetera, right? Is like,
take the part you want.
Yeah, well, Ted Cruz looks at that and probably is like, well, you know, we haven't called up the Air Force to shoot down black people in quite a while.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. He's not
proud progress that will hail. He doesn't take that as like, well, a smaller version of that is like, you know, me pushing policies that you know, will properly or not properly have the benefits fall on all races. You know,
that's true. I guess I always forget that there's some people that will process that as an immediate, well, it's not like it was before now, so it's better, as opposed to looking at root causes and trying to actually think about it. But yeah, we learned Ted Cruz watched The Watchmen. I haven't seen this other clip. I know you have. I only watched like the first couple seconds of MyPillow guy. We can ditch the last one. But I just saw a bunch of people talking about this and wanted to hear it live.
Yeah, no, the necessary context for this, everyone probably knows, is Dominion be suing everybody out here. The maker of the voting machines. Turns out you can't say that they're a Venezuelan coup for too long before they start saying this might harm our business. So I think that Newsmax had a memo go around about this.
Oh, okay, because they were serving all the networks.
You know how this goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are loose when talking about companies, the management tends to get prickly. So
Newsmax, by the way, a conservative news outlet.
certainly, yeah. But you know, it's not left or right when it comes to losing $1 billion.
No.
So,
but MyPillow guy will run and go.
Happened? What happened with your Twitter account and the company page?
Well, first mine was taken down because we have all the election fraud with these Dominion machines. We have 100% proof. And then when they took it down about 3 weeks ago, and then I put it back up, my personal, it was a
Mike, thank you very much. Mike, you're talking about machines that we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those kinds of allegations. We just want to let people know that there's nothing substantive that we've seen. And let me read you something there. While there were some clear evidence of some cases of vote fraud and election irregularities, the election results in every state were certified and and Newsmax accepts the results
I've
as
never
legal
seen
and
somebody
final.
read a
The
statement
courts
that
have
was not only
also
written, but the
supported
way
that
that they're
view.
reading it that is so clearly tailored to keep the company from getting in trouble.
Yeah, Rudy
And let me just
Giuliani
read
is
you a
being
quick
sued for $1 billion with a B. Do you want to be on that suit, Mike? I don't.
Also, I think it's pretty weird that Mike Lindell styles his MyPillow office like the Oval Office. He's got like two flags behind him. He also has Trump's
we wanted
mannerisms.
to talk to you about canceling culture, if you will. We don't want to relitigate the allegations that you're making, Mike, because we understand where you are. So let me ask you this. Do you think that this should be temporary?
I want my goddamn Twitter account
Could you
back.
make an argument that it is temporary?
Hold on, too. Mike's definitely. I love the. I mean, I'm just trying to hear you. And then the.
Do you think that this should be temporary because it appears to be permanent? Could you make an argument that it is temporary?
What?
What?
Could you make an argument
Talk about the machines
a temporary banning rather than
I didn't hear that.
Permanent?
No, I want it to be a permanent because you know what? They did this because I'm revealing all the evidence on Friday of all the election fraud with these machines. So I'm sorry if you think
Okay,
it's not
Mike,
it's real.
can I ask our producers, can we get out of here, please? I don't want to have to keep going over this.
Actually,
We, Newsmax,
Mike,
have not been able to
wait,
verify any of those
Wait a minute.
allegations
Wait,
that you're
Mike, hold on a second. Everybody hold on a second. Mike, hold on 1 second.
Listen
Let's
oh,
talk
that guy's
a
like,
little
I am
bit
not
about
getting in
what
trouble
is
for this.
happening
Yeah.
overall.
Can't fire me if I'm not on set.
He
just ducked.
Cancel out my company and myself. In this country, it's cancel culture. They're
Okay, yeah, I didn't really realize that that's what you were talking about at all because,
It seemed like you were talking about the Dominion machines.
Yeah, it hadn't been, but I guess you lost your Twitter account because you were talking about the Dominion machines and that's cancel culture. Fuck if I know. This last one here is just a nice goodbye for everyone for the day. Just wanted to send you out into the world with this one. So here's the thing. I now follow Jenna Ryan on Twitter.
Of course.
I asked her to marry me. She didn't answer.
That's too bad.
She's still, it's amazing, dude, because I don't know if you've seen the latest, but she asked her attorney, or her attorney asked the court if she could, let me see if I can find the actual info. She wants to go on vacation to Mexico.
Yeah, wasn't there someone else too? That was like, well, we did have this big trip planned, and the court was like, yeah, it sounds like a big trip.
Maybe it wasn't her. I thought it was her. I
And
could have
they gave
sworn
her
it was
thumbs
her.
up.
Because like right now, they, at least as of yesterday, they cannot locate Kyle Rittenhouse.
I do know that.
Yeah.
I thought that they did, and that it was just like there was his lawyer in response to the thing. So it wasn't that they located him, but his lawyer responded and was like, well, if we put down his real address, the one where he's actually at, then anyone could find him.
Yeah.
And Southpaw on Twitter was pointing out that actually they have considered that it's a possibility, and you can just seal the documents.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is she's in the middle of this story. She's being charged with federal crimes, misdemeanor, as she's quick to point out. So you go to her Twitter page, and it's like half her tweeting about Stop the Steal, her case, the private jet. Well, let's say it's a third that. It's a third that. It's a third her tweeting ex-ambassadors' music videos. And then it's a third her just tweeting real estate listings that she's involved in.
8 acres for sale near DFW.
Yeah.
Great schools.
Oh, I should have said a quarter for each because then the other is to raise money for her fund.
Yeah.
But occasionally she'll give you a gym like she did Tuesday night. And I was pretty much fucking transfixed by this video I sent you because it's just perfect.
Hello, it's me. I'm sitting here, and I'm eating macaroni and cheese.
Got some Kraft. Got some Kraft.
It's been a hard day.
Looks a little dry.
Selling real estate
And the macaroni and
is
cheese
rough.
looks dry.
So I have some tuna, some macaroni and cheese, and some wine. Cheers.
That's your moment of zen.
Hello, it's me.
That is a classic Daily Show moment of Zen if I've ever seen one.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow. For everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm TC and Jake. We do thank you for watching. Good night.